Okay. Um, Welcome back to my channel. My name is Derrick-sama. Um, this video is gonna probably be about, I guess, being the best version of yourself or being the best confident version of yourself. And first, I want to say, how you guys doing? I always want you to check on yourself first because that's more important than anything else. Um, I think another thing I want to also mention is my Instagram will be at the sorry. My Instagram will be at the description under the video. So if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can. Um, but this video is mostly focusing on I guess navigating life and being confident in the version of yourself that you want to be. Because I feel like, especially in this society, it's kind of hard for us to be our selves because societal pressures, parents, um, family members, friends, and like just even yourself. Sometimes we put such a high. Oh, hold on, let me put this a little bit down. Sometimes we put a lot of pressure on. Well, yeah, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves just to. Um, I'm kind of nervous a little bit, so that's why you see me stuttering a lot. But um, I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves just to fit this perfect image to please people and to make other people comfortable so we don't like ruff any feathers or challenge people's norms. And I think from my experience that I can share, um just leading up from I just from graduating high school to being an adult, 22-year-old adult, is that I think we should let go of what people feel about us because that holds us back a lot. And especially men, I feel like a lot of us tend to put so much pressure on how we should look and our image and um and how masculine we should be and stuff like that. And I feel like we don't take the time to ask ourselves what we truly want for ourselves. And for me, graduating high school all the way to being an adult, I realized a lot of people generally don't give a fuck about you, what you're going through and what you um experience if it doesn't really benefit them. So that's why I always tell people like it's in your benefit to be yourself because at least at the end of the day you have to say for yourself that you are generally happy of how you want to show up. And I think I'm kind of really thinking about how in one return you will experience while you're glowing up and being the better version of yourself. I'm gonna say that you're going to ruff a lot of people's feathers because it doesn't um, accommodate to what they believe you should show up as, or it doesn't accommodate to their perception of what a man should be. And I think for me and how I choose to show up, I definitely ruffle a lot of people's feathers, but I really don't care anyways. But and just in my way of showing up and just being confident in it. Um, I think also reflecting on back at my experiences, I noticed that um, for men, um, we should be a lot less harder on ourselves when it comes to, especially each other, when it comes to how we want to show up, because I feel like us being so judgmental about how another man shows up is, I think it's pretty nonsense unless you're attracted to the same sex, which is fine. But like, um, even if you are attracted to the same sex, I feel like that shouldn't be a reason why you should kind of nitpick another man and how he would choose to show up. You know, even if it's more of a feminine or masculine style um, way of showing up. You know, and I think this whole version of masculinity is, especially today's society, is like a social construct of like being some stoic and having this or having a machistos or like macho type of vibe to you. I think not everybody's gonna fit that mold. You know what I'm saying? Like, not everyone's gonna fit what that ideal of man is. You know, I feel like, especially physical appearance, I feel like all of us don't physically look the same, height wise, genetic wise, our genetic features and stuff. So I think it's wrong for us to even kind of place that type of, pressure on it on each other. And I think we need to, I think, do a better job just like finding something. I'm gonna say a better job redefining what masculinity is instead of telling other men what your version of masculinity should be for them. And I feel like masculinity should be what makes you feel comfortable, and how you want to show up and how you choose to express yourself, because I feel like that's all different from all of us if we were allowed to generally be ourselves. And I know a lot of people come from very traditional households or conservative or traditional households where they're not allowed to really express themselves freely as they want to. But that's something I tell men to strive for. Even if you come from a conservative or traditional background, I strive you to push against that, because even though, yeah, that is what your parents or your traditional background choose you to show up as, you have free will. You can choose to show up how you want to, even if people have an issue or problem with it. I tell people all the time, there's millions of people on this planet. You can make millions of friends, millions of connections. You can make, you know, a lot of connection with people who genuinely like you for you, instead of an image of them, an image of how they want you to show up. And I think we as men need to do a better job, like pushing against that traditional norm of what a man should be. Like whether that is, you know, physically, emotionally, spiritually. I feel like we should do a better job of allowing other men to show up how they want to, even if it goes against how we choose to show up too. Um, I think I think that's pretty much it. I don't know. I don't think that's. I think that's pretty much what I have. But I feel like I wish men were more bold. I feel like men need to be more bold about, striving to show up how they want to show up as, whether that is, self-expression, whether that is cultural beliefs or um spiritual beliefs, or self-belief. I feel like we like are very below we're like compared to um I guess when we compare it to women, we can take notes from them, and you know and how they choose to be okay and comfortable with their choice of self-expression, and not allow that to define them as a person. But even though men and women have their own experience, and what they navigate through life, I understand that. But I feel like we can take notes from the opposite gender about, self-expression. Honestly, I think what I'm gonna wrap everything up to say is that, when you're on the journey of becoming yourself, you're going to have people. You're gonna push a lot of people buttons and nerves, and people are going to tend to project on you because you're doing something that does not appeal to them or doesn't feel comfortable to them or they're not used to seeing in their norm. And you need to be okay of not giving a fuck and telling them, oh well, who cares? Fuck off, you know, um, because we all have free will and we can show up how we want to. If you don't like it, keep it moving. Um, so I think that's a bit different from me, you know, in a sense. So, um, you know, I think that's also something I would definitely um uh I think I'll definitely say, but I don't know. I think the only thing I will say is that helped me navigate through all that was wearing crystals, you know. Um Wearing protective crystals because I know energetically I'm kind of sensitive to people's energy, but for me, I wearing crystals helped me navigate that, you know, my journey of like being my best version of myself. So, um, I think men should, you know, strive for that. I think, and especially emotional intelligence. I feel like if we strive for emotional intelligence and more empathy for each other, I think um, there'll be a lot more, you know, of us who are not the norm, you know, and that's okay. Not everyone's gonna fit the norm. So, but I think that's all I have to say, pretty much. Um, but yeah, it's definitely a battle being yourself. You will lose a lot of. One thing I will say from my experience, you will lose a lot of probably a lot of friends, um, family members may not fuck with you because of how you choose to show up too, um, and um, colleagues, you know, people that you work with at work. But I think at the end of the day, what's more important is you choosing yourself and you loving yourself because that will take you more far in life than accommodating to what people, you know, feel that you should show up as or be. Um, and I think also we should look at life from different perspective because why not? Like you benefit from seeing things from different angles than one lens. So I think I feel like everything when you are setting yourself up to be the better version of yourself, the universe will find people and environments that suit what you want, you know. So always think everything will come and work in your favor if you choose to have good intentions to be the better version of yourself. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Um, and I think I encourage men to, take their mental health more serious. Always check up on themselves and find like-minded people who match their energy. And don't be afraid to step out your comfort zone and try different things because you don't lose anything. So, and you never know, you may end up liking it, whether that is, getting into fashion or having different hairstyles or wearing makeup or having a unique um, look or that's you wearing different um, getting the different arts of or like I said dabble in the arts. Oh, I almost dropped that in. Well, I used to dabble in the arts of like creativity and shit. So that's one thing. I think that's all I have to say. I think for me is that one thing I learned is that being yourself, you're not going to have a lot of people around you, and that's the truth. That's the sad truth. So, but at the end of the day, don't allow that to dim your light of not making friends and making connections with people who genuinely will like you for you, because you never know. So yeah, that's all I have to say. And yeah, goodbye.